always having to work, and if you're not working, then what are you doing? Everyone would be like, what the hell is actually happening right now? A lot of my hobbies, well, okay, I just said I didn't have any hobbies. Get ready with me while I talk about my own experience of having to make everything into an achievement of some sort. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with is sunscreen. So, also I'm getting ready for New York. So, I think my experience with having to make everything into an achievement was fueled by the fact that I had to go to college. I think coming from an Asian household, that was definitely, and by the way, Pakistan is a part of Asia. I think, yeah, being a part, like growing up in an Asian household, college was kind of like the only avenue of obtaining my future. And so applying to college was a lot more high stakes. I'm sure everyone in their own respective situation probably goes through a very high stakes college journey. But yeah, in my case, it was being brown. I think even if I wasn't brown, I would have gone to college. Some parallel universe, but that's not the point of this. Yeah, so applying to college, it wasn't only going to college, it was being able to go to a good college. However, someone may end up defining what good means. But for me, I think good was selective, which I ended up committing to a moderately selective school. I really love my school that I'm going to now. And so having to even have a shot at being able to be admitted into one of those schools, you had to layer on a bunch of things. It wasn't just excelling in academics, it was also somehow balancing athletics and clubs and hobbies and interests. And me personally, I'm gonna go to blush now. Me personally, I didn't have a lot of interest during high school. Like whenever someone, like a common icebreaker is, what's a hobby or an interest you have? I never had an answer for that because the only thing I would do is, if I wasn't studying, I was either doom scrolling because I was so exhausted, had no time to actually, I had no like energy to invest in something I wanted to do. Or if it wasn't doom scrolling or studying, it was just planning my future, planning like what's the next step I have to take if it's not this, if I've already arrived at this step. And I just want a disclaimer, like this is no way my parents' fault. I think it's just like the social stigma. I don't think stigma is the right word. I think it's like just like the way society has made it for us, like hustle culture, always having to work, and if you're not working, then what are you doing? Oh, I forgot that. Oh my god, I forgot that I cried. This is why I talk about something, because if it was just to get ready with me, everyone would be like, what the hell is actually happening right now? A lot of my hobbies, well, okay, I just said I didn't have any hobbies. The way that I could pursue my hobbies was by joining a club with someone, and it was structured, which I think also sports really helps with a lot in terms of maintaining exercise. I think being able to join something that is structured and that you can be a part of a community within is super helpful in being able to pursue that one thing, because we all end up leasing off, right? Especially me. I think I really struggled with that, not only during high school but even now. Like during the summer, it's very easy to get carried away with just wanting to binge movies all day because you don't really have any other priorities. So I did really like the structure of clubs. Even beyond that, like even the clubs that I was a part of had to be carefully curated to give me a bountiful resume. So I ended up doing robotics, and in the beginning I absolutely hated it. I didn't know what I was doing. A lot of the, like, I don't know if a lot of people relate to this, but if I don't know how to do something, I hate it, and it's very hard for me to then learn because I have no motivation to learn, which is a horrible mindset. But yeah, in the beginning, freshman, sophomore year, I did not like robotics at all. And so I ended up picking up something that was the least technical. Everything robotics was technical, but what ended up being slightly less conventional was the engineering journal. And so I journaled my way through robotics into junior year. And junior year, I knew was going to be hella rough with the onset of standardized testing and everything like that, right? And so I decided, okay, maybe I should just quit robotics. I didn't end up going with that, spoiler alert, to even think like I was definitely going to quit it actually. I actually don't know what stopped me. Oh, actually, this, I think I mentioned community before. The community that clubs gives you, don't underestimate it and don't let it pass you by. Work actively to be a part of those communities, because that's what made me end up staying, and I ended up graduating loving robotics. I think that's also why I started YouTubing, vlogging, videoing. I think I want to get back into that action, that intentional first step forward into reclaiming what hobbies and interests mean to me, because I went so long without having an actual hobby. Now this whole journaling thing I'm talking about for robotics ended up being my hobby too. I actually really enjoyed that towards like the end of junior year and senior year. And when you don't put the pressure of something being an achievement, it's much easier to pursue. Like, I'm not looking to get anything out of writing, just my own satisfaction. I don't want to make it into another thing to write on my resume. I don't want to make it into any of that. Like, I do think if you're able to build such an end product in the end, sure, write it on your resume, but don't go into pursuing something as a hobby when you really just want to write on your resume, because you want to do everything with intent, with purpose. And if you're doing it just to add another bullet to see me more competitive, where's the heart in that? So that's obviously my own take. Not everything needs to have a meaning. I think that in itself maybe is its own meaning, but hi guys, I got lipstick, but see you in the next one.
Straight to Times Square, I think, or like